Even though I'm an expert in probate real estate, really my passion is helping families avoid probate by having a proper plan in place to avoid the state's idea of what should happen with all your assets after you're gone or incapacitated. Really excited to share an attorney I've met who also is kind of nearby where I grew up. She's from Placentia, or in her office is Placentia, California, but has a great online estate planning webinar that I took about a week or 10 days ago and loved and want to share with you. Alexandra Varela from the Wagon Legacy. Alexandra, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
And I know that, that was a name change you made consciously from the standard kind of I'm an attorney.com. Tell me about the name, the Wagon Legacy, and how that just describes really you and your passion for this business.
Yeah, so previously my practice was called Varela Law, and I changed the practice to the Wagon Legacy because for years I was using a little red wagon as an example of a trust. So I tell clients that if you don't have your estate planning in place, it's kind of like you're carrying all of your assets in the palm of your hand like this. Something happens to you and it's as if you tripped and you fell and everything flies all over the place and your loved ones have to go by trying to pick up all the pieces. The issue is that in that process, assets are typically lost and forgotten because our family doesn't know all the details with regards to what we have. And the assets end up in the California Department of Unclaimed Property, which is why if you Google California Department of Unclaimed Property, how much, you'll see that there's $12 billion in the Department of Unclaimed Property. Yeah, can you believe it? So when you have a trust, instead of carrying all of your assets like this, it's as if you have this little red wagon. You're pulling it by the handle while you're alive and well. Something happens to you. It's as if you tripped, you fell, you dropped the handle, and then someone that you know and trust comes and picks it up and continues to pull. So I gave that example to clients for many years. And over the years, clients would bring me little wagon gifts and wagon cards and things of that nature. So when I changed the name of the practice, it just made sense to call it the Wagon Legacy.
I love the concept. And I think one of the reasons why is as realtors, we get involved when the assets aren't put in the wagon, right? And we all had customers, if you've been in business a while, who went to one of the world's great attorneys and got a great plan. And they came home with a great leather-bound book, but they didn't put the property in the wagon. And so they call us up and we go, well, sorry, but you have to go through probate. And so, there's a couple questions there. One is, how do we get our customers to get a wagon and get their affairs in order to avoid probate? And I know, Alexandra, one of the ways you do that is by hosting regular webinars to educate customers on the importance of proper estate planning. So tell me, how did you get started doing webinars? What was it that started that? I know you've been doing it for a while. Talk to me about the process a little bit.
Well, I really think that in order to encourage people to plan and to protect their assets and to protect the people that they love most, they have to be educated. If this is not something that you do day in and day out, you don't know what could happen. So yes, I love doing the webinars because it's just educational based. It's not to sell clients anything or anything like that. It's just to share my stories and my experiences. And I really do try to focus on stories, cases that I've had, problems that I've seen, so that people can realize like this really could happen to your family if you're unprepared. And then what you were speaking about with regards to the funding is really so important. And that's the nature of the wagon too, right? Because I always tell clients, we have to make sure that your assets get in the little red wagon. Because if you simply sign a trust, but you don't what we call fund the trust, retitle your assets in the name of the trust, then it's not going to work the way that you intended it to work. So in our office, we have a whole separate meeting about the funding so that we can go through every bank account, every asset with clients and make sure that it was properly put in the name of the trust. And of course, we guide them and help them with that process.
I think as real estate agents, this is our opportunity to serve our customers and to build a relationship with the attorney or law firm, and whether it be Alexandra's or others, we should be referring our customers to get proper estate plans because it's good for them, not because we're going to get business back necessarily. But obviously, if we send them customers regularly, they're going to reciprocate and it'll create business for all of us. And the other opportunity is, I believe, for us to check our customers what properties they have so they can come to the attorney prepared with the proper deeds. We have access to public records. And then when they fund it properly, when the stuff is in the wagon, we should be sending them a copy of the deed that shows, yes, it was recorded in the wagon, so you know the job is done. And I think that's where we as realtors have the opportunity to service our customers and to prove the attorneys that we're of value and earn their business rather than just ask for it. So, I guess the caveat is not to get in the way of the attorney and the firm. We don't want to do their job for them or try to do legal work we're not licensed to, but we want to be of service to them as far as getting in. The other part of it, we talked about getting people into it. That's why I have this call today, is encourage people to come to the webinar. Talk a little bit about the format. I know you do live events. I know you do webinars. Why do the customers appreciate the online version? What is about that they appreciate more?
I think just the accessibility, that it's easy. You can jump on from your phone or your computer. Also, I know sometimes people are investigating estate planning, maybe not for themselves, but for their parents. So with the webinars, if you attend, whether you attend or you miss it, you get a recording. So I know many clients have said, oh, my daughter actually attended one of your webinars, and then she shared the recording with me. So I think it just makes it easy. But then I know there are a lot of folks that actually want to meet me and shake my hand. And so that's where the seminars come in handy. And after the seminar, people will sometimes line up to ask questions because they don't know if they can do a trust, or if they should do a joint trust with their spouse, or if they should do a separate property trust. So I'm able to answer those questions. But yeah, I love the seminars because it allows me to get to know people and allows me to educate people.
The other key thing that we as realtors get involved with is when the documents aren't kept properly, right? They go to an attorney, they get a great book, and who knows where it is. Did they sign everything or not? We don't know unless we have the actual book in many cases. So talk about your strategy on helping your customers preserve the documents properly in a way that's effective 5-10 years later when they need to be accessed.
Yeah, so we give clients the original documents at the end of the process in a binder, as you were speaking about, but we also give them a thumb drive that has a digital copy of everything that they signed. So we inform them that if they wish, they can share that with their children and such. And then I also keep a digital copy of everything and a paper copy as well. So I have my file for all of my clients. And then I just spent thousands of dollars actually on some cybersecurity measures and just making sure that all of my data is backed up. So I've had many instances where I've helped with the trust and a client's child calls the office and says, oh, I can't find it. Mom's in the hospital. She told me that the book is in her office on the top shelf and it's not there. And I've searched high and low in the house. So in those cases, I either have to get the client's permission or I have to get evidence that they truly are incapacitated, or in some cases that the person passed away. And then because I have everything, I can actually, once I have permission or proof, I can give a copy to the beneficiaries. So I typically, for my clients, will have a lot more information than their families, right? Access to all the documentation, and then also bank statements and copies of their deeds. And I think that is a huge advantage of working with a firm, that first of all, during a difficult time, your family can go to them for questions, guidance, to get copies of documents, right? If you don't work with a firm, then it makes it really hard when you become incapacitated or pass away.
Well, or impossible. I had this case recently. It's ongoing where we have evidence of a trust. The heir has, or prospective heir has some of the documents, but nothing executed. We figured out who the online service was, sent them the necessary forms. They need something notarized or whatever. Then they came back and said they needed a death cert. We sent them a death cert. The one my customer got didn't have the social security number on it because she got the cheap version, not the more expensive version. We sent it back to her then. They got back and say they don't have a copy of the record after all that. So it's, that's the emotional pain versus of having this set up would have saved the customer. I don't know if she spent as much trying to get the copy as the estate plan might have cost differential, but it's a good chunk of it. And certainly having, like you mentioned, an attorney who can talk to you as a trusted member, at least to the decedent, a trusted member of their team, should really help somebody to make those initial decisions, help get started. So I know you have an upcoming webinar coming up on Tuesday, July 16th, so in a couple of weeks, and we'll put the link in the chat box down below. I think now this is the same one that I took when your webinars just a couple of weeks ago, and I think I saw half online, and I had to go, and I think you sent me the recording. I saw the second half and recording, so I can verify that you do that. So anybody who's interested, feel free in the chat box below. We'll have the link there to the details, and describe kind of what's the purpose of this webinar. Is this an overview? The 10 top mistakes people make. What's the student going to leave with once they go to the webinar?
Yeah, absolutely. So it covers some of the estate planning basics that clients will ask, the difference between a will and a trust. It covers incapacity, what a conservatorship is, how we can protect ourselves and our family in those situations. It covers the difference between Medicare and Medi-Cal, and what Medi-Cal planning is, and why it's important to have a power of attorney and a trust that allows your family potentially, maybe, to take assets out of your name and to strategize to help you with long-term care. It goes over Prop 19, a newer law that affects real estate property taxes, and the reasons that we do not want to add our child to the deed of our home, or anyone else for that matter, just to avoid probate. It talks about asset protection and how we can distribute assets to beneficiaries at appropriate ages versus just 18, and how having assets held in trust is helpful and beneficial and can provide asset protection to our heirs and beneficiaries. So it covers a lot. So, but I really, again, just enjoy doing it and enjoy sharing my knowledge with people that are interested in getting their affairs in order.
And for those of us who are professionals, it's a great overview. And what you're going to see in there is a list of the common problems that customers call you with. For example, reassessment. I think everybody who does their own will or their own trust is surprised automatically as a reassessment. And there used to be certain exceptions that didn't get reassessed. Now those exceptions have been narrowed. And so if you don't plan right, you're talking about a big jump in property values that's going to affect people dramatically. You're talking about thousands of dollars a month in some cases. So definitely worthwhile. Definitely worthwhile. July 16th at 6:30 p.m. And then sign up. And I don't want to say this, but if you can't make it, you get the recorded version as well. So even if you can't make it there as well, you're welcome to go there. And then separately, you can go on to the wagonlegacy.com if you want to get more information about the firm and set up a chance to meet with Alexandra personally or one of her team members to talk about some private plans. So Alexandra, thank you so much for what you offer. Again, you're located in Placentia, but the webinar is online, and I know you talk to people across the state of California. So thank you so much for offering your service to our customers and to our professionals.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button there. Okay, recording stopped.
Okay, perfect.
That record button, I hit the hang up button by accident, but we're okay. I thought that was great. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's great. Thank you so much.
We should do another one. And once you get more set up, we should do another one. This one's going to date out obviously on July 16th. But I do think that I'm available. Again, I'm passionate about this topic. I think you're a good fit with what I'm trying to do. And if there's something I can do to help you, please let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Will you send it to me? Or I guess I post it on your social media. I should follow you. I don't think I'm following you yet, so I will do that.
Yeah, my assistant's off, I think, this week, but probably by Monday or Tuesday, we'll send you the link. But I'm going to try to tell her to get up early Monday or Tuesday next week so that we have some more runtime on it. And I'll definitely send the link to the YouTube when we get that done. We'll put it on my social media as well.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate it.
Likewise.
Great meeting with you today, and thank you for allowing me to be part of this.
Thank you, and have a great holiday. We'll see you. Talk to you soon.
You too. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye.